Well, this is a video I didn't want to have to make in this way. I went and saw The Hobbit yesterday at noon on the 13th of December. So I got to see it before all of my family did, and I was really excited, and I thought I'd be raving about it on all social media network sites, and I didn't. I ended up just coming home and having a nap and not feeling anything, really. I left theater feeling shock, and I thought maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it was the kind of shock like that, you know, happens after someone wins the Stanley Cup and they get interviewed and they just don't know what to say. They're completely speechless. But instead it turned out to be the type of shock that you experience after your house is hit with an asteroid and someone interviews you and you just have no words. I have no words. This isn't going very well. Let's just start by saying that the 48 frames per second thing, I was trying to be on board with Peter Jackson about the 48 frames per second. I get what he's at with saying that we haven't changed the technology since the 1920s and that it could use a boost, and it's just something that this generation will find jarring, but then the next generation will, you know, that'll be their paradigm for how movies should look, and it makes perfect sense. I really tried to like it and I just couldn't. It moved a lot like an episode of the Teletubbies. It seemed to speed up and slow down at certain times. Maybe that was the theater's fault. I don't really know. Cinema, sorry. UK. And I don't know. I'm gonna go see it on Sunday in 24 frames per second and compare, but until then I have to say I did not enjoy 48 frames. Yeah, let's start off with saying some good things about the movie. The soundtrack was amazing. Howard Shore, I am not worthy. Gandalf can do no wrong, okay? Ian McKellen is a god among men and is epic. Let's just put that up, like stick a pin in it and put it over to the side because that's dealt with, okay? Bilbo, okay. Martin Freeman, by far the best choice anyone could have imagined for Bilbo, and Peter Jackson at least knows casting so well. And I've heard at the premiere people were saying that half of directing is good casting, and I fully agree with that. And Peter Jackson hit the nail on the head, bang on, with Martin Freeman. Amazing choice. The little nuances that he puts onto Bilbo, like just the bumbling, the finger movements, like this sort of sense of, well, I ought to be this, but I find I am this, and what is isn't always what ought to be, and that inner struggle, and just, you know, his sort of prim and properness about everything, and then he's got a bit of a moody attitude, but he still has a soft heart. Like, he played Bilbo perfectly. And Thorin, Richard Armitage. Okay, first of all, Richard Armitage, if you're ever watching this, call me. Thorin was everything he should have been. He was intense. He was full of honor. He was what a true warrior should be. If you've read anything medieval literature-wise and you know about the original 3 rules of the chivalric code of honor, and you know that he was upholding those 3 laws, and he did such a good job. I can't, yeah, just, that was awesome. Now for the bad, and this is my list of good, this tiny little bit down here, and this is my list of bad. It's very angrily scribbled. Radagast. As much as I love you, you weren't meant to be in the movie to the extent that you were. I don't really understand why Peter Jackson used Radagast so much. I don't understand why he was almost more of an important character than most of the dwarves. I was really disappointed, and then let's just get to that, with why the dwarves were almost a caricature of themselves. It was as if the 7 dwarves from Disney's Snow White were running around instead of Tolkien's dwarves. Dwarves that are meant to be steadfast and hardy and, you know, feeling a sense of duty to their history. And, like, I didn't get that at all. I got, you know, blocks of cheese and fucking flatulence, like just as much as dwarves, I'm sure, fart, they don't do it to the extent where that becomes their only gig in the show, okay? I mean, Gloin especially. Gloin was the father of Gimli, and you don't really see anything of him except for eating a block of cheese. That's it. Really, really, certain dwarves obviously got their rightful place in the spotlight. Balin among them, as the veteran who knows all of the history and the lore of their people and tells the tales to Bilbo. Like, Balin was done properly. Thorin was done properly. But I didn't really feel the connection between Bilbo and Bofur. Bofur was supposed to be the dwarf that had that brotherly connection with Bilbo, and you don't really get that from him. He rips off a piece of his jacket or something and hands it to Bilbo as a handkerchief, and that's about the only interaction they have. Carrying on. The action being comedy-based? Really? I guess I kind of see it a little bit with the dwarves, but for example, the Goblin King, no, that's not how it should be. The Goblin King is meant to be kind of intimidating, and all he really is, and the only death he receives, is Gandalf killing him when it's supposed to be Thorin, first of all. And Gandalf just, pokes him in the eye and then cuts up his belly, and he says, "Oh, that'll do it. Oh, I'm dead now, must be. Oh, here, watch me go." Really? No, that's not the Goblin King. I would have taken David Bowie over that. The CGI, horrible. Horrible. Okay, here's something I have to mention. In The Lord of the Rings, every single orc or goblin was played by a man in a lot of makeup. That's how all of those orcs and goblins felt so real. For some reason, Peter Jackson, what is he? Is he getting lazy? What is this? I don't understand. But the white orc that hunts Thorin, why is he CGI? Why isn't he just a dude with a lot of muscles that just gets covered in a lot of paint and throw him on top of a CGI'd wolf or whatever they are? Really? I mean, the logic there just baffles me. I don't understand why there's unnecessary CGI. The same thing with the ring. When the ring is falling from the sky and goes onto Bilbo's finger, it like wobbles and changes form as it's sliding onto his finger. I don't understand. I don't understand why any of that, and the ring bouncing on the rocks when it falls out of Gollum's pocket. In the original Lord of the Rings, that was all just used with a regular ring, and they just slowed the frame rate down so that you could see it bouncing. Why can't they do that for this one? Why does it need to be fake? Why do I need to see that it's CGI? I don't understand. Jackson, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't. Is he just becoming complacent? People are saying that he's the new Lucas and he's just sold out to be a cash cow. I don't want to believe it, but all the evidence is standing up against me and pointing in that direction. I'm still going to see it at least twice more in theaters, and I'll still be down in London for opening night, the big premiere of The Desolation of Smaug next year, because I want to meet Ian McKellen. What did you think about the movie? Let me know. Maybe there's something I didn't see. Maybe there's an aspect to it all that redeems itself.